Hello, learners. I hope you are having a wonderful day. For today, we will discuss the concept on grade 9 science entitled Respiratory and Circulatory Systems Working with the Other Organ System. For today's topic, we will use the application called Kotobi ebook reader so that after this discussion, you can use this application in your home to review the topic that we have discussed for today. Now, to start with, let us let us introduce to you the topic objectives and then the motivation for this day's learning.
Welcome, dear learners. This is your travel buddy, Sir Gecris A. Marquez. This topic will make you appreciate the wonders of our bodies, as it is created to carry out incredible tasks and activities. Please bear in mind the importance of ensuring proper care and maintenance of our bodies to prevent health problems from developing. Back in grade 7, you have been introduced to the different levels of organizations in the human body and the functions involved in it. You have also learned that the human body is composed of different systems, which are collections of cells, tissues, and organs, each of which has a specific job that keeps us alive. You have studied how the digestive system breaks down food to nourish the whole body. In this topic, you will learn how the different structures of the circulatory and respiratory systems work together to transport oxygen-rich blood and nutrients to the different parts of our body.
Now let's proceed to the topic objectives.
Our topic for today will enable you to describe blood flow and gas exchange within the respiratory and circulatory system, and will enable you to explain the mechanism of how the respiratory and circulatory systems work together.
Now let's proceed to the content of the topic, which is the respiratory and circulatory system. I hope you are doing fine. Let's begin our learning about the respiratory and circulatory system. The respiratory system is made up of the organs in the body that helps us to breathe. Just remember that the word respiration is linked to breathing. The circulatory system is responsible for distributing materials throughout the body. Take note that circulation means transportation in circles. Both systems are essentially meant for each other. The common purpose could not be attained without the other system. Now, as you could see here on the video lecture, the image of the flow of the blood throughout our body. Now let's proceed to the respiratory system. Let's talk about the respiratory system. The air we breathe goes through the nose, the nasal passages, and then the trachea, which separates into two branches called bronchial tubes or bronchi, one entering each lung. The bronchi subdivide many times inside the lungs, analogous to the branching pattern of grapes, finally becoming hair-like tubes called bronchioles. The last part of the terminal bronchioles are a tiny bubble-like bunch of structure called alveoli. Here is the image of the physiological structures where the different parts of the respiratory system can be found. As you can see here, this is a gallery of the parts of the respiratory system. First is the nose, next is the nasal passages, the third one is the trachea, next to it is the bronchi, and the lungs, and last but not the least, the alveoli. Okay, now let's proceed to the video presentation talking about the respiratory system.
Hi there, it's me again, your travel buddy. Let's have another journey of exploring our human body. Our topic for this session is the respiratory system. If you're ready, kindly give me a big thumbs up. Now, Let's go to our respiratory system. Our respiratory system is also known as pulmonary system. Let's talk about the major parts and function of our respiratory system. First of all, we have the nose, and our mouth, which serves as both the entrance and exit of air inside the body. The air that enters through the nose goes through the nasal cavity, or what we call as the nasal passages. The function of the nasal passages is to warm, moist, and filter air entering the body before it reaches the lungs. Below the nasal cavity is the oral cavity. Air can also enter the mouth, and the mouth also serves as an entrance towards the oral cavity. Air that enters through the nasal cavity and oral cavity goes to the pharynx, to the larynx, and then the trachea. The trachea connects the larynx to the bronchi of the lungs. The trachea is also known as the windpipe. We go to the bronchi. The bronchi are the passageways of air leading into the lungs. Next to it is our lungs. Do you know that we have two lungs? One, two. These are our lungs. The function of the lungs is to exchange oxygen and carbon dioxide between the air we breathe and the blood.
Now let's proceed to another video which will further explain the importance of the respiratory system.
Now, the question is, why do we have to breathe? Our body is a very complex system. One of the main things it needs is energy. When we eat, our body digests the food to get complex molecules like glucose, which it can use for energy. However, food alone isn't enough. The cells also need oxygen to react with the glucose to create the energy. We get the oxygen to our cells with the respiratory system and by breathing. Breathing in. We breathe in using a muscle called the diaphragm. It flattens out, making our lungs expand and fill with air. When we breathe in, air gets forced through our nose or mouths, down our windpipe, and into bronchi tubes in our lungs. These bronchi tubes branch out and get smaller and smaller like the roots or branches of a tree. Alveoli. No, these aren't a kind of pasta. At the end of the smallest branches of the bronchi are tiny air sacs called alveoli. These air sacs have a very thin, one-cell thick wall that allows oxygen to be passed to red blood cells as they are passing by. There are hundreds of billions of these tiny guys in our lungs. The alveoli don't just pass oxygen to our blood. They also help to clean our waste gas from our blood cells. This waste gas is called carbon dioxide. When we need to breathe the carbon dioxide out of our lungs, the diaphragm bows up and pushes the air back out, getting rid of the carbon dioxide. This makes room for fresh air with the new oxygen to come back in our next breath. Our nose. The nose does more for breathing than just providing a place for air to enter our body. It also helps to filter the air of dust and other stuff. It does this by using lots of hairs and mucus. It also helps warm up the air prior to getting to our lungs. Why do we get out of breath? When we run or do strenuous activity, our muscles burn energy and use up the oxygen in our red blood cells to try and get more energy and oxygen to the cells. Our heart will pump faster to get more blood through the lungs. At the same time, our lungs will try to breathe harder and faster to get more oxygen. We end up feeling out of breath and have to take a rest so our bodies can recover.
That is the respiratory system. Now, let's proceed to the circulatory system. To talk about our circulatory system, the circulatory system is the life support structure that nourishes your cells with nutrients from the food you eat and oxygen from the air you breathe. It can be compared to a complex arrangement of highways, avenues, and lanes connecting all the cells together into a neighborhood. Sequentially, the community of cells sustains the body to stay alive. Another name for the circulatory system is the cardiovascular system. The circulatory system functions with other body systems to deliver different materials in the body systems to deliver different uh, nutrients in the body. It circulates vital elements such as oxygen and nutrients. At the same time, it also transports waste away from the body. As you can see here on the image below, a simple connection between the different parts of the circulatory system: the vein, the arteries, and the heart. Okay, now let's watch a video that will discuss further what is circulatory system.
Hey there once again. This is your travel buddy, Sir Gecris Marquez. Now, let's go to the next topic, which is the circulatory system or the cardiovascular system. Is your heart ready? If you are ready, kindly give me a big thumbs up. Now, the first part is the heart. The heart is a large organ about the size of your fist. It sits in your ribs, just to the left of the center of your chest. The heart is made of a lot of muscle that pumps blood through our bodies. Veins bring blood to the heart to pump back out again on arteries. The main artery leaving the heart is what we call as the aorta. In order for blood not to go backwards, there are valves to make sure the blood only gets pumped into the correct direction. There are four sets of valves in the heart. Now, let's go to the circulation. Blood circulates constantly through our entire body. As it passes through our body, it picks up nutrients from our food, and drops them off to cells that need them. It also picks up oxygen from our lungs and drops it off at cells to be used for energy. The blood then picks up waste carbon dioxide from the cells and drops it off at the lungs for us to breathe back out. Now, for the blood vessels, as you can see, we have two types of blood vessels. These are the arteries and the veins. The blood vessels are tubes throughout our body that carry the blood. There are, there are two main types of blood vessels. The first one is the artery, which carries blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Arteries have to be thick and strong as there is more pressure on them from the heart. When you feel your pulse, this is from an artery. Veins carry used blood back to the heart. They don't need to be as thick. What is in blood? Over half of blood is made up of red blood cells carrying oxygen. This is why blood looks red. There are also white blood cells which kill them and keep the blood clean. Blood also has something called platelets which help the blood to clot when you get a cut. Finally, all these cells float in a watery substance called plasma. Now, as you can see here, the blue arteries are what we call as veins. They are blue because they lack oxygen-rich blood cells. The red one are what we call as arteries. These arteries contains oxygen-rich blood. Inside the rib cage is our heart. This is the arteries of the systematic and pulmonary circulation. Arteries carry oxygenated blood away from the heart towards the cells, tissues, and organs of the body. So they can be found anywhere of your body, which supplies oxygen-rich blood. Now, the veins. The veins carry the oxygenated blood to the heart. Okay? And the last one are the capillaries. The capillaries are the smallest blood vessels in the body connecting the smallest arteries to the smallest veins, the actual site where gases and nutrients exchange.
So that ends a, the short preview on the circulatory system. Now, going back to the image, you have here the image gallery of the parts of the respiratory system. First is the blood vessel, the blood, the heart. Those are the three main parts of the respiratory system. Now, the blood vessels are subdivided into three: the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries. Okay, Now, to check your understanding of what we have discussed for today, we have two sets of evaluation. One set is intended for the respiratory system and the other set is for the circulatory system. For the respiratory system, we have quiz number 1, and that is in a form of multiple choice. So the direction is choose and click the correct answer for the following questions below. So what is the process wherein gas is exchanged in the body? So what will you answer for this first question? Second question is air can enter the body and travel to the lungs through what organs? And the last question for the multiple choice is what happens to the windpipe or trachea before it reaches the lungs? The next set of questions are uh, simulations or interactive activities or interactive questions. Now, we have here the pair matching. So pair matching, pair the parts of the respiratory system with their corresponding um, parts also or functions, diba? Okay, or other name. Okay, for quiz number 3, we have the jigsaw puzzle wherein you will uh, form the puzzle to create an image of the respiratory system. Okay, that is for the respiratory system. You will answer this uh, post-assessment in your respective homes because I will post this Kutobi ebook on our official group page, official Google Classroom also. Now, so that you can download it and answer the evaluation. Now, for the next evaluation, we have the quiz for the circulatory system. So, for quiz number 4, multiple choice, and you just have to choose and click the correct answer to the following questions below. Like for example, what can you do to keep your heart healthy and strong? Next to it, the movement of blood through the heart and body is called what? And the last question for the multiple choice is how many chambers does the heart have? Now for the quiz number 5, you have here the cross my heart activity. Okay, so we'll just crisscross and answer crisscross using the hints seen on your left side or left panel. Next to it is quiz number 6, which is uh, book widgets, which also uh, pairs the different types of the different parts of the circulatory system to its functions. Match and pair pa rin. Book widgets or widget pairs. So I will just post this ebook reader on our official group and also in our Google Classroom so that you can download it and answer the evaluation. And that ends our topic for today. Good afternoon, class, and have fun. See ya tomorrow.